at the Chapter 7 payroll project. All right. Kind of give you an introduction to it. So we'll start on Chapter 6 on Thursday, but probably not a bad idea to start taking a look at this Chapter 7. So there are a couple of different, if you looked at your textbook, there are a couple of different options for completing this payroll project. The one that I have assigned is actually probably the easiest option, so you're welcome. It's only 3 months worth, and it's using a system that actually does the tax calculations for you. Now, of course, garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't put the correct information in or you mess something up, those tax calculations are going to be off, right? So, but it does do those calculations for you. It's like a simulated software program. It's nothing that you have to download. It's actually within Cengage itself. And I'm not going to show you the reading. You guys can look at it in the book if you want to kind of look at the reading. The overview, actually, there's not much in there, but so what I really want to do is show you what this program looks like. Now, if you at home have multiple screens, it will probably be helpful to you. Of course, all of your homework and everything for everything would be helpful if you've got multiple screens. If you don't, you know, not a problem. You can still work in it. It's just that it's a little bit more difficult to move. So you go into it just like any of the other assignments in Cengage. All right, the very first, so we've got, actually it's just one, it's 1 month, but it's 3 payrolls. So I think one of the other assignments I could have assigned you was multiple months, like the last quarter. But I just gave you the last month to do. The very first one is simply a tutorial, so it's not going to count against you on any points or anything, but it's to help get you familiar with how the program works. All right, so let's take a look here. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me. Increase the browser size or change orientation. How the heck do I do that? Maybe. Oh, there we go. I just had it. Ah, there we go. So that was too big. Okay. So we'll just go through all of these tabs, this getting started tour. So this is, the company is called Globright. And you're gonna start with just these. And this is just kind of a tour of where everything is in this program. So assignment panel, this provides instructions, source documents, and tools to guide you through the assignment. So for every week that you have, you've got these series of assignments that you have to go through step by step. Okay, and you can see up here, so we've got 1 of 14. So we know that this tutorial has 14 parts to this assignment that have to be completed. Source documents are here, and I'll show you how to access those and all that. You do have some check my works, but you've got 5, I think it's 5 per week or per assignment in here. If it turns out that's not the case, let me know. When you're entering everything in and you want to step away, you're not done with it, but you want to step away, do something else, make sure you save your work. You will have to click save. Submitting it is submitting this assignment. So as you can see on here, so just like when you've got your individual questions in your greater assignments, you've got kind of the same setup over here where you can go kind of go back and forth through those, but with this one, you're gonna wanna make sure you do it in order. All right, so that's our assignment panel there. You can expand or collapse it by using this button here, although not right now, apparently. but this will get it out of the way if you want more space or bring it back. So all of the instructions displayed on the assignment panel are there to complete the assignment. You can browse through the instructions by selecting previous or next buttons, so you can go through them forwards and backwards. Source documents. These represent real-world documents that you will refer to in order to complete the assignment. Use this button to open the source documents for this assignment, which we're not going to do it right now, but I will in just a second when we go through this first tutorial. This is what a source document looks like. You're going to have one page for instructions of that source document and then the actual source document. What they've got here displayed is the source document. So here's the employee list. Source documents may be referenced in the instructions on the assignment panel. Use the source documents and the detail instructions that accompany the source documents to record the entries. Drag the bottom right corner. If you want to make it bigger or smaller, you can use this here. It doesn't work right now, but it will once we're out of the tutorial. So drag the bottom right corner of the panel to make it bigger or smaller. Title bar may be dragged to reposition, so you can pull this. This is where, like I said, if you've got multiple screens, that may be helpful. So you can reposition the window. Top of the panel contains options to browse through all of the documents, so you can see again. There's a menu up here. There are 11 source documents here, so you've got a pull down of all of those. So if you're like, they say there's a source document, I can't find it, make sure you look up there. I've done that before when looking at this. Like I think it's not there, but it actually is. It's just in the pull down. Bottom of the panel contains options to zoom, print, and download the document. So if you want to print it, might be helpful, right? Have it next to you. You could download it. Again, if you've got multiple screens, you could put it on one of those screens and that sort of thing. Calculator is available there. Of course, you've got a calculator here as well on your computer, but there's also a calculator function there. Save the assignment to resume it later. So at any point you can save it. After completing all the steps of the assignment, use the submit button to submit your work for grading. Check, this is the assignment option controlled by me. You can use it to check your work and view a summary report. You can use the check at any time to check and update your score as well. So that's a good one. You think, you've got everything in, and it might be a good idea to wait until you've got everything entered into the assignment and then use the check feature to see what might be missing, right? What you might have overlooked. Optional, so this for supplementary options such as resizing instructions, on text size, general instructions. You can also launch this Get Started tutorial from the additional options menu at any time. So if you're in there and you can't remember how to do something, you can click the Get Started. It'll take you back to this tutorial. There is a help function as well up there on the right. This is the simulation area where all the magic kind of happens. This is where you perform the tasks according to the instructions that are given over here on the right hand side. Over here on the left, just like with most Microsoft products, there are multiple ways to kind of get to places. This is the module menu. This lists the modules used in the simulation. You can use it to go to any module. Use the back arrow to collapse the menu right here, and to increase in order to increase your work area. Now you'll see we don't have, some of these modules aren't highlighted because we're not using them. We're not using inventory or sales or anything like that. This is just for the payroll function. You can use the three lines up here to access the menu again. The one that is highlighted is going to be the one that is selected currently. Now you'll see what happens is for each of these modules, the options up here at the top change. Okay, so, and you'll see when we go through. So like when you're on the payroll module, you'll see that the list up here of options changes. So select this menu to display items within each module, such as maintain accounts, maintain vendors, or general journal. So that's for this particular module, which I don't know what it's named, but probably the general ledger module, I'm not sure. So each item from the top menu here is launched in a window. So once you click on it, it will open up another menu here. Resize the window any way you like. Drag the title bar to reposition it anywhere you like. Top of the panel contains options to close, minimize, maximize, or launch the help file. Each of them have, like, if it's an item where you can enter information, it's gonna have like a plus sign down here, and you'll see when we go through the first payroll example, there's like add, there's like a plus sign down here and add. So when you want to add new information, you've got to do that down there. Use the Windows button at the bottom of the simulation to display all the open windows in a list. So if you've got multiple windows that are open, you can just go down there to see what's open and quickly access it. Dashboard is used to review data in graph form. I don't know that we really use that for the assignment itself, for this particular assignment, but it's up there. And then these, I don't know about you, I never remember these commands off the top of my head, so they're pretty useless to me, but they're there for you if you want how to toggle between keyboard shortcuts and all of that kind of stuff. So that's just sort of where everything is on within the system. So in this project, you're employed by Glow Bright Paint Company as the payroll accountant. Your work involves maintaining employee information, paying employees, generating payroll and payroll tax entries, and recording entries to pay payroll taxes and dues, and to fund the payroll account. Assume that the payroll records, tax reports, and deposits have been completed and filed for the prior periods, so you're all up to date. Beginning balances are accurate, reflect all payroll entries made for the year to date. For each of these assignments, you're going to follow the instructions in the assignment panel, and you're going to take a look at the source documents, make updates to the payroll and general ledger systems as required. You're given step-by-step instructions on this, so it shouldn't be too difficult, although it does require careful reading, again, of every instruction up there. Other modules are grayed out and are not available, like I showed you before. To help you get started, the first assignment is a tutorial of the system with step-by-step instructions and images of completed reports at every step in the process. Note that the payroll system uses the 2023 annualized percentage method tables for automated payroll systems in order to compute federal income taxes. This will produce amounts slightly different from amounts in the wage bracket tax tables that are used in the chapter. So if you were doing it manually, that's what you would be using, but we're not. We're going to use this system, which is going to use the percentage methods. 1 to 2 cent differences will occur, so if you're checking it, I think there's like check like in the program. I don't know if they give you. Yeah, so they've got like little images of payroll reports and stuff in here, so it may be just slightly different if you're using the book as a way to check. For additional guidance, select help appears above that. We already showed you what that is. Your work will automatically be saved at regular intervals, but you can also use the save button. I would recommend you do that just in case, you leave and it's not actually been saved recently. You can check your work. If there is a check mark at the bottom of the assignment panel, you'll be shown the items checked. So it'll bring up like a report of everything that's been checked, and it'll show you if it's not correct. Only payroll transactions and general ledger balances are graded. To correct errors, go back to the previous steps and check your work. Grading is based on payroll transactions and showing correct ending balances in the general ledger. You can change and repost payroll entries and add new general journal entries if you need to. Incorrect entries can be deleted from the general journal using the trash can icon. Otherwise, you may start over by selecting the little, what is that, gear there. Reset at the bottom of the company information sheet. From the company module, select company setup and company information. If you reset, all progress within the assignment will be lost and the system will be restored to default settings. That sounds ugly. I did have students over the summer who had to reset because they did something wrong and they couldn't fix it. And so they went back and had to redo it. Now, the good part is it gives you extra practice, right? And chances are you knew what you were doing. It was a little bit faster the second time, but just kind of be careful of that because it does happen. When you're comfortable that you completed all steps of the assignment correctly, select submit. If your assignment was set up with feedback, I don't remember if I've got feedback, I think I do. There'll be a detailed report on that. So correct balances are indicated with a green check mark. Balances in error will show a red X. Okay. So let's take a look. We've got a few minutes here. We'll go through these instructions. All right, so ensure that the system date at the top of the screen is listed as 11/20/24. It is. This date will be used as a default date throughout the assignment. You may change the system date using the calendar or by entering a date using the date format shown. All right, our date's fine. If we needed to change it, we could pull that up. We don't need to, it's fine. So let's go next. From the General Ledger module, select Account Lists. We're already in the General Ledger module. Account Lists and Chart of Accounts. Chart of accounts includes accounts used in the payroll entries and a capital account to balance the accounts. An actual company, of course, would have many more accounts than what's just shown here. Review the account names and classifications. You'll use these accounts in journal entries, and they will be used in system-generated payroll entries. Okay, so this is just to kind of give you an idea of what the accounts are that we're going to be using. If you wanted to print that out, you could do that so that you have the accounts there at your side. All right, that's step 2. Edit employee information. So from the payroll module, here's our payroll module. We're going to click that up. Select tasks and maintain employees. Here's our employees. Scroll down to employee number 180 and enter your own name in the employee field. Leave the other fields as is and save. All right, so we've got student here. I'm going to put it in the same format as the others. All right. And save. Display the employee list report. All right. So we're going to go to the report, employee list. Verify the name change on employee number 180. Make any corrections via the Maintain Employees menu from that we just accessed. So employee 180 is now Kelly Murphy. That is correct. Enter the payroll transactions for November 20th, beginning with check number 703. Refer to source document number 2, employees to be paid this pay period, and the detailed instructions which accompany the document. Calculate taxes and review for reasonableness. Refer to source document 3, which supports the tax calculated by the payroll system. So here's our source documents. So we want to go to source document number 2. right here. And it gives us instructions on exactly how we add the information. So we'll use the plus sign to add a new pay period for each employee. So to enter it, we're going to select tasks and pay employees. There we go. Let's see, use the plus, here's the plus add. To add a new pay record for each employee, make sure the date is set to 11/20/24. The first check is set to 7/03. Select the employee, enter hours in the correct column. For hourly employees, the salary of salaried employees will populate automatically. Change Surter Russell's pay to account for 2 hours lost. Now this source document, you're like, well, where do we get this? Here's the source document. So this is all the pay information that we're going to be accessing. Enter deductions as shown on the form. This is the first pay in which the company offers a savings incentive match plan. The simple contributions are excluded from income for federal income tax purposes. Voluntary deductions used in the simulation are shown in deductions. You can view the setups from the company module in the company setup. Now it says calculate the taxes to fill in. When you calculate the taxes, I will tell you, you just click this button and it will calculate. Now you do probably want to double check, or if at the end when you check everything and you run the report something is wrong, it could be that some tax calculated incorrectly, right? So that's just a double check there. Let's see, net pay will calculate automatically, gross pay will display at the bottom of the form. Save your work, update the payroll reports. If you made a mistake, go to the appropriate line and field, change the value. Select calculate taxes again to recalculate those amounts. Net pay will recompute automatically. So the check numbers should match the employees in the order shown on the source document. Be sure to use the correct date and check number for each employee, otherwise that'll be checked off. So here's our source document. Let's make this a bit bigger if we can. All right, so we've got Anthony Bono again, so we're going to add 11/20, that's correct. We're going to select the employee. There he is. I know that's kind of hard to, let's go down just a little bit there. All right, so he is an hourly employee, so if we enter in the number of hours, he worked 64 hours. There's no overtime. There is group insurance and union dues, however. So, let's scroll over. Nothing is calculated yet until we hit calculate taxes. So we've got group insurance of $16.50, union dues of $8, and then we're going to calculate the taxes. So net pay of $931.57. Now we can do just kind of a quick check here. None of those is pre-tax, obviously. Let's see, go back here. This is gross pay. 64 hours. So 64. His rate of pay, I believe his rate of pay is on one of the source documents. So on the employee list, we could get his rate of pay. Come on. It's hard to see because all this stuff is in the way. But so he is paid $17.60 an hour. And he worked 64 hours. So his gross pay $1126.40, let's just say 6.2%. So his Social Security should be $69.84. Let's see how that. $69.84. Okay, so I calculated properly. All right, so the other thing, this is listed as check 1. They want this to be check 703. All right, so that's Anthony Bono. He's in there. Then you're going to go through each of these employees. We're going to add another one. Employee Jamie Ferguson. He's out of here. Jamie Ferguson has a salary, group insurance of $26.40, but simple contributions of $500. So, all right, and then you just go through the whole list of the employees, and then save it. Obviously, I'm not finished with it. That's fine. So we go to the next one. Display the payroll report. Refer to source document number 4. So if this was all in, let's see, for November 20th. So we've got Anthony Bono and Jamie Ferguson. Let's see. Well, these are already in here, probably for the, maybe this is just mine. And the accompanying instructions. If the payroll summary amounts do not match, check each employee, review the list of employees to be paid. So again, you're going to want to compare it against the source document number 3. No, is that right? No, number 4, sorry. For what they should be paid and what it should list as.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
You said that this is more of a group project. By that, do you mean like we're just able to like compare with people in our groups? Or?
Yeah, I mean, if you're struggling with something too, you're welcome to check with each other. Hey, how did you get that to work? That sort of thing.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really you're each going to submit your own assignment, right? But I don't mind you working on it together.
Okay.
Okay. You know, putting your heads together and everything. All right. So that gives you just a little bit of an introduction. Play with it. You'll get more familiar with it, obviously, as you go along. But I wanted to introduce that now because I don't want you to have to. You've got a month to get it done, essentially. Okay.
It's a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Okay. Well, we'll see.